Hey guys, I figured that I'd do hopefully a quick review of the BattleKiwi Endor stuff from their Kickstarter. Um, Purely because I've just finished building it the past couple of days. Um, it's sort of what I've been doing over February, and I don't normally build stuff because I haven't. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. I have tremors. Makes it very hard to, hold stuff steady, and you know, small things are fiddly. For the most part, um, this stuff is actually extremely easy to build. I think all in all, maybe it took me 10 hours to build it. And virtually all of it with PVA glue. I've only used super glue for one set of things, and that was the lights at the top of these, on the top of the landing platform. And I don't really have anything in scale to fit on the landing platform, so I brought along the decimator and the Lambda shuttle from X-Wing because they fit on there and they look kind of cool. So this was probably the thing that I took the longest to build, the landing platform. I haven't actually fixed these lamps into place. Like I've glued the actual posts, but they're not they're not glued straight into the platform. That way they can be removed for transport and all of that. So this is a landing platform. It actually does come apart. Comes apart here and at the top here. So like this just sort of lifts up, slides out. You can take the top here out from this pillar, and that's so that it's interchangeable with other things. You can put the top part of the landing platform lower down and then use where did I put them? Get these little ladders to build with it, and they will got little connectors so you can connect them into the I want to say patio, but it's not a bloody patio, is it? It's not like anybody lives in here. Just connects in there, and that would be when it's on the ground sort of thing. When they're up here, the ladders have no purpose, which is, that's perfectly fine. So that's the landing platform. It's got the bays that you can park an AT-AT or an AT-AT on. The only models I've got like that are AT-X, the cargo transports, and I think they're a 1/44 scale, so they only come up to about here. So if I had miniatures that were here, I think basically this stuff is built for Legion. Legion? Yeah. The new Star Wars game coming out from Fantasy Flight. I bought it because it's a Kiwi made thing and I want to support them. And I've never done a Kickstarter before, so this was the first one I wanted to do. Sort of thing, it looked cool. And I do gaming for like X-Wing and The Walking Dead and stuff like that, so with my brother, so that was the other side of owning it. We can use this for The Walking Dead or for 40k or virtually any other miniature game. So it's a landing platform, does pull apart here, so you can have two different platforms if you want. All of this was done with PVA other than the lights. The lights are the only things I needed to use super glue on because I needed faster. So hold on a moment, did you stop recording again? Sorry, I thought it had stopped recording. I suppose there is still a light there, I can't really see it. So that's the landing platform. I won't pull it apart because I like it this way. So just move that off to the side, hopefully it doesn't fall down. This was the shield generator dish. This does pull apart, so I've got it bit tight there. So it pulls apart into 3 different pieces. You can glue it all together if you want, but I haven't glued it together like that purely so I can transport it easier. There we go. And of course, like I said, you can I didn't sand it like they suggested, so it's a bit tight to pull apart. You can pull this off and then you can attach one of the turret tops to that if you want. So that's the shield generator. Of all the stuff, I didn't actually have much of an issue. Like, some of it's fiddly. With steadier hands and experience with building models, you probably won't have any problems with it. I think all in all, there's only one thing I broke, and that was one of the arms on this dish here. Yeah, I just put maybe a little too much pressure, and the only other issue I had was where the arms are connecting into the top dish here. Sometimes when I pressed them out, they broke off the tiny little sliver edge that you'd use to connect it. So there's that, but if you know what you're doing, you're probably going to avoid that and not have an issue. Yeah, with the shield generator tower, you do get one of these turrets. I bought a second separate one because well, I didn't entirely know what the scale would be like, sort of thing. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could use them for X-Wing. Really, they're a bit too large for X-Wing. But in saying that, I could use them as sort of like mega turrets or something. You know, it's something that like planet side could blow off a capital ship or something. Blow up one or something. These, of course, they pull apart as well. Still got a bit of tape in that one. Should pull that out. These were actually relatively easy to do. I haven't actually painted the ends of those. I just used a black permanent marker to cover it. You know, give it that nice sort of little black circle stuff. Make it look a bit more like a cannon. Like I said, I'm not experienced with building models and stuff, so they look a lot better than what they could have looked with my lack of skills. So I'm actually really pleased with them. They're quite neat. The landing platform also came with these. They are plasma core generators. These I will use for X-Wing because they're the perfect size for putting on the, you know, on like a world map sort of thing, and using to as like a power plant or something for my ships to blow up on a campaign. These also attach to the towers, the lower part of the landing platform towers. So if you want, you can have them higher up or whatever. This stuff is actually quite good in that sense, that you can sort of change it to adapt to what you need it for. And I've got the bunker building, but I just put the ladder stuff on top of it. The roof of this pulls off, and so does the back door comes off it, and you can open up the inside doors. Now, I haven't glued the guiding rods for this purely because I don't want them to end up glued shut. So I've taken care of that to allow it to still open and shut. And you get little computer terminals. They fit inside the bunker perfectly. So they will be a great addition for the Walking Dead and Legion when we get it. I've seen on BattleKiwi's website that they've got other buildings which I think they use for Infinity. So I'm pretty sure you could add on other things from that if you really wanted to you know, maybe make an Imperial world or something like that. And then I've got the scatter. I think there were 2 lots of Scatter Wars terrain, so you get little barriers. You get four barriers. I'm pretty sure that's right. From this, the first one I think it was 4 barriers. Complete mind blank what these are, but cool things. I haven't, you know, I didn't glue everything down, so some of this still moves. And that was just me cutting corners, but it looks really, really good. Whoops. Just put something here, unfortunately. And then it also came with the ammo crates, and I think you get 8 of them. So those are, you know, you can sort of stack them like 1 on top of 2 sort of thing, or just scatter them around where you need them for terrain. So those were quite handy. And then I think the last Scatter Wars terrain is this one here, which is kind of like an outdoor platform, a bit like what you would have seen in Rogue One. So it comes with a little terminal thing, so if you wanted you could recreate you know, things from the Battle of Scarif. They come with small crates, and not really sure what these are. Another kind of crate, I suppose, but they're really well detailed. All in all, I'm actually really pleased with this stuff. It was super easy to build, and really it didn't take a lot of effort. Like the instructions that they leave on the website for building it are really good. And I would definitely agree with the using masking tape. I didn't use masking tape, I used sellotape because I don't have any masking tape. Probably the most fiddly stuff that I had to deal with was on the shield generator. Just trying to get the disc, you know, the dish plates into place took a little bit of work. And when it came to the landing platform, keeping these bays for the AT-ATs, or you know, whatever, troop transports, keeping those on, sort of when I started I was really struggling with, and what I've done is I braced them with small containers and a little bit of tissue sort of thing, so if they were starting to sort of fall down they were braced into position, and I left them there for quite some time just so that they'd set better. The same thing when it came to putting the diagonal parts for the landing platform on. that sort of required a bit more time sort of hanging upside down. But other than that, they look really good. Unfortunately, Legion doesn't get released here for about another week or so, so I don't have any miniatures that fit into this exact scale. I do have Imperial Assault stuff, but again, that's not really quite the right scale, and none of my stuff is painted, so it doesn't really stand out well next to this stuff. As you see the stuff, as you have seen it, that is how it is coloured. So basically, once it's built, it's once it's built, once it's dry, it's ready to be played on. And that's brilliant. If you wanted to add more details, you can. So for me, this is actually probably the best terrain I've ever built and ever really worked on. Like, I can appreciate the stuff that they did with like Games Workshop with their terrain, but I found that stuff to be a little niggly, and at the end of the day, the price of it was harsh for me. Like, Aegis Defence Line was going to set me back, I think originally about $40, but I think now it was around sort of 60. For the same price, I've could have got like 2 of these. Basically, all of this stuff is less than $200 New Zealand, I think. I can't remember the exact price. But it's really well worth it. If you're a Star Wars fan, or you just want to have nifty terrain for a science fiction type thing, this stuff is brilliant for it. I think if you're a bit more technically minded, then you could add maybe LEDs to it, and I saw on a recent Beast of Wars video they used I think it was a wax shoestring to do cabling that went along walkways and stuff. So like, it wouldn't take very much if you wanted to add a little bit more to this stuff to give it a bit more of a feel, or to weather it a bit, or just whatever. It's easily adapted sort of thing. It's not heavy at all. It's very sturdy stuff. Yeah, like, honestly, if you're into Star Wars terrain and stuff, I think this stuff is brilliant. Even if you're not into Star Wars stuff, if you're just wanting to build miniatures or something, this stuff would be great. Like, if you make the Star Wars model kits, this stuff would probably really suit it. If you're going to make dioramas or something like that. Yeah, it's in plain English, it's brilliant. It didn't take long to make. It really wasn't that hard to make, and yeah, I mean, I think in the future they're looking to open it up, put it on their website, and and sell it outside of the people that back the Kickstarter. So yeah, I mean, this stuff is brilliant. And certainly I'll put a link down to their website, so go along and have a look. because you might find other terrain that you want to use. I found other stuff on the website I'd like to use for X-Wing, as well as Imperial Assault. Yeah, I mean, like some of it we could use for the Walking Dead stuff, which it will be really, really good. Yeah, so sorry, bit rambly, but that's everything I got. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope that it comes through clearly as well. Yeah, I think this is some of the best terrain I've ever had, or been exposed to. So if it's something you're interested in, please go to the website and keep an eye out. I know that some of the stuff, particularly the ammo crates, they're already on the website. So yeah, just head along, pick the stuff up if it's something that you're interested in, even if it's just for modelling. Or, actually I'd have to say, if you've got a child that's got the Star Wars toys, this might also be quite an interesting thing for you to have, for them to play with. Because for not very much money, you can actually build a pretty neat Imperial base, or an Endor set, or with the turrets, you'd be able to use those to make a Death Star trench run diorama or something, just whatever sort of floats your boat. This stuff is really, really good for it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope all this stuff came clear, and I don't know if it's so much a review as so much of it is just showing off how cool stuff is. But honestly, I think if you're after terrain, this stuff, you really can't beat it. It is brilliant. Since I finished building it in the weekend, so we're a couple days into the new week. Some of the stuff got built maybe a month ago, or close to a month ago. There's been no issue with it at all. There's nothing that's dropped off. Other than the little dish thing, I didn't really have any issues at all with building it. And as somebody that doesn't have much experience with building models and stuff, that's really, really neat. Because I was really worried building it that I'd build it wrong and it wouldn't look good. So I've actually really proud of myself for building this stuff and putting it together. I did make a few mistakes along the way, but luckily picked them up before I had the glue dry too much, and what glue was left over sort of thing, or has been left on them that I overused, it's just blended in with it, so you can't really tell the difference, and that's really, really good. So I think if you're into terrain and stuff, even if it's not for Star Wars, this would be a great set of things to look at getting. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Hope you enjoyed.